glass of cannabis. It's been a glorious year. I want someone in here to stand to their feet and tell me their best way to smoke. Who will it be? You right here. What's your name, girl?
Not him. It don't really matter when we all agree. What's your best way to smoke? Cause I'm rolling it up. Smoke like I ain't had enough. What's your best way to smoke? Cause I'm rolling it up. Smoke like I ain't had enough.
What's up with y'all out there? This the Best Way to Smoke podcast, and you smoking with Big J.
And Serpo Jr. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and tell a friend.
Yes, please do that. Hit that like button, subscribe, and tell a friend, like he said. So before we jump into the show, we're going to get into the Best Way to Smoke tip. Serpo, hit him with the tip.
Today's tip. This is Serpo's tip. Like if you're rolling, whether it's joints, backwoods, whatever it may be, I'm just saying perfectly do that solo. And I'm saying that so you don't spread that saliva that everybody be like soaking these joints and shit with. You know what I'm saying? So if you smoking socially, try to use a cone, you know what I'm saying? Something you can stuff.
Yeah. And to piggyback off that, in layman's terms, when you rolling, you ain't got to wet that motherfucker up, like super wet it up. Just make sure it's not going to crack up and shit like that, though. And, just twist it. If you twist it right and just lick it one time, it's going to work. So you don't have to put a whole bunch of spit, because we done seen, people just like get that motherfucker head shit. and then twist it up though, and you really don't want to, blow on that though. So look, that's the tip. Best way. Yep. So look, we're gonna jump into the show. And right now we want to talk about a cannabis bill that Chuck Schumer put into play, and it's Cannabis Administration and Operating Bill would decriminalize weed and allow states to regulate it on their own. Yeah. So the states will be able to. It'll be federally legalized, and then the states will be able to regulate it and make the rules basically.
Yeah. That's kind of cool. I like that. And it's like this is something that the cannabis community, like, we've been knowing about this.
Right.
They've been brought it to our attention, and it's like this is something that we're looking towards. So now it's like within this article, Schumer, they pushed the bill through. Meaning it's like, all right, we done made recognition. You know what I'm saying? We going to give consideration of people being incarcerated by it. Like people who are being held back behind it, as far as like you done been charged with some marijuana things of such, and you may want to get into a certain job field. Mm-hmm. You may even want to go to a certain school, but this right here is holding you back. So this bill is one step closer to federally legalizing that, to swipe that up off the board.
Yeah.
So that's kind of cool, in my opinion.
Yeah, it is. And when that happens, it's gonna be like your record to be expunged. As long as you don't have no violent crimes tied to it, or it's nothing like that. If it's just straight, weed, then you'll be able to get your record expunged, and move on. And it also will provide different opportunities. So like people that's from the inner city will be able to get into the industry and, really have a way to get into the industry, and we talk about this all the time because we real big on wanting to see it decriminalized on a federal level, because it's going, it'll help a lot of people, and we personally know people that's affected by that shit, and it's fucked up because it's people that's still locked up from state to state. It's still people that's sitting up in there incarcerated, and like we talk about all the time, like 420 is like a holiday for the weed, and a lot of people will be celebrating, and the shit be on the news now. So, just imagine sitting on your bunk in a cell and, seeing that shit on TV. It's gonna ring your dome. You're gonna be mad as a motherfucker, man.
Yeah. And it's like, to point out another thing up in there, it's like how they pushed this bill through. It's like some people that was within the office, Democrat and Republic, that wasn't with this before.
Right.
They've grew and they learned some things, became informed, and some of those people done flipped over to be on the yes side of it. Yeah. So that's something that's going to help the cannabis community, period, right there, because somewhere within these lines,
Right.
somebody has an open ear and is listening to something.
Sure.
So that's an advancement for the cannabis community on the road to federally legalizing this, because once it started, it was so many people not with this, and then some people started to get with it, and then so on and so on. So it's like within that office, they starting to come around.
Yep. For sure. And like you like as we talked about the MORE Act. The MORE Act was the bill that was kind of pushed first. This is some of what the MORE Act was with stuff added. You know, and like I stated before, it's called the Cannabis Administration and Opportunity Bill. So it's similar to the MORE Act, but it's a different name. You know, and the add-ons to this is it's gonna create, through the taxes, it's gonna create funding for police to stop the cultivation, the illegal cultivations and the dispensaries and stuff like that, to pursue them, you know, them type of issues and shit. You know what I mean? So it's different kind of add-ons, and also not being able to market to minors. So think about that though. If you think about it in the aspect of social media, because that's been a big fight right now too, on what's going on, like not being able to post certain things on social media, you know, getting flagged and losing your account and all that kind of stuff. So I think that wording might just be in a way to kind of like get it there already though. It's like a mind fuck, psychological type shit. You know what I mean? Like it's gonna get there. They not saying it, but they saying it. You know what I mean?
I don't know, man. We just need to keep getting educated about it. But one thing about that, dude, that I kind of like rubbed me kind of wrong. The funding for the police to actually police that. I mean, from where we come from, you giving the police money, they get big-headed and get to doing things their own way. Never mind what like the bill say, the law say, the rules say, whatever it may be. They'll come up with their own little thing to try to like get you, you know. And it's like that's giving them more ammunition. Now that's only if like if the police force or whatever it may be is on that tip. But if the funding is actually used to like do what it do just for that, yeah, it's kind of cool. It's nice, but it's like I'm not with too much giving the police extra stuff to use for extra activities. Right.
But look at it in this aspect though. If the bill is passed, it's gonna create more opportunity for people in the inner city that haven't been able to jump in yet. So if you think about that, that opens up. Think about in a line of you know, retail sales. You know what I'm saying? So if all these other people is going to the dispensaries that's illegal, but now it's more opportunity for people in the inner city to get in it. So it's the market can be flooded. You know, people can go out and get their products from legal dispensaries. So in that aspect, you probably will want to see more funding for them to crack down on illegal dispensaries if you running a legit business. Because if you got a legit business on this corner and then 2 blocks up there, it's a illegal spot up that way, then up that way, that's taking away revenue from your business, and you're legal, so you losing money. So that's like kind of the big fight that's going on right now too. That's why it's a lot of emphasis on the illegal dispensaries and stuff though. And like and like we talk about all the time, it's like, you know, a lot of them illegal dispensaries was probably one of the ones trying to pioneer to get to be illegal. But you know how a lot of these different cities did it. They made it to where, you know, only a handful of people can get licenses to run a cannabis business in that city. So, you know, it's a catch-22 to it. But I believe that could be good if it's in that direction.
If it's for that. If it's like that, man, I totally agree with it. You know, and it'll make those people that say if you were just being a legal shop because of your viewpoint.
For sure.
You know, and it's like now that something has passed, your viewpoint is now like heard. So now you can actually jump the proper hurdles to make your establishment legal. Yeah. Now, if if you're not with that, you know, and it's like you just continue, just want to like go on and do your own thing when it's like this opportunity presents itself.
Right.
And if those funders is used for that, man, I'm in total agreement with the bill and you.
For
You know what I'm saying? Because it's used the right way.
Yep.
You know, because you have the opportunity. If you
Yep.
got the opportunity, like, why do you want to continue to even put yourself in a position to where it's like
Yep.
these funds will be used?
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I like it if it is used that way.
Yeah. But just to keep it 100, I think that it's going to always be the illegal spots popped up, though, because it's the quick money. You know, it's the quick buck. So a lot of people, you know, may be like, you know, go in that direction of trying to be legal, but then at the same time, you know, it's going to be people just trying to get that fast money, quick money. Because I say it all the time. It's like a spot get hit. You know what I'm saying? 3-4 days later, it's back open.
Yeah.
And it's running for months before it get hit again.
Yeah.
But see now, now what they doing with the fines and shit like that though. So it's a catch-22 all the way around. So you just got to pick your which way you want to go.
Yeah.
I was finna say pick your poison though, but I wouldn't call it poison. But you know, it's whichever way you want to go with it.
It could be. Some poisons are good. You know, and if the opportunity presents itself,
Right.
you go to school, learn it, get your paperwork, get it done right.
On everything.
If you in it for the thrill, you want to have fun, man, more power to you. They funding some people for that.
For sure, for sure. So look, all the stoners out there, everybody that's into cannabis or want to get into the industry, want to have something, you know, involved with that, just pay attention to this bill and whatever we can do, whatever light we could bring to the situation, just be on it and see what happens. You know, they say it's a slim chance, even though it's there, it got to go to the Senate. They say it's a slim chance, even with all the hype that we having right now. But let's see. You know what I mean? Let's see. Let's just keep fighting and pushing and pushing. So look, we gonna slide on to this disturbing news that we seen though in Singapore, where a dude, well, they say multiple people was executed, you know, hung, but it's drug related, you know, drug related trafficking and stuff though. So a particular person was arrested for trafficking weed, and they hung him.
That's crazy, man.
But it's a lot of people out there protesting, you know, and you know, trying to bring some light to the situation because their laws is their laws. But it's a lot of other countries that's against, you know, their laws.
Yeah, that like we here in the U.S., California, and you know, one of our biggest little slogans for like cannabis lockups, stops, and all that is like nobody should be in jail for weed. Nobody should be in jail for cannabis. Nobody should be in jail for joints. Nobody should be in jail for a plant. We push that here in California within the United States, you know, as far as within the stone community, the cannabis community. But you got here in this place that like if you get caught just transporting, I'm not sure about the amounts that they was having or whatever it may be. I just seen you transporting something, and for you to get like hung with a noose, you know, and it's like that within itself is a cold way to go, you know, and over cannabis, you know, something that like really people, communities worldwide is trying to get laws passed. You know, it's really a bad like view that's put on cannabis, marijuana, weed, or whatever it may be, for some people in other countries to get like hung like this. And it is some other countries like, man, you steal something, they gonna chop your hand off for doing it. You know, certain things, it's like it holds a bigger
different weight.
Yeah, a bigger disciplinary action than what
sure.
certain things are over here in the US. But like, man, that right there, in my opinion, that's extreme.
Yeah. And out there it say no matter what the substance is, in Singapore, the Singapore government is, you know, non-tolerance. You know what I'm saying? Corporal and capital punishment.
Yeah,
you out of here.
Capital, man. Over marijuana, and it's like I just asked a question, like within myself, reading this article, like what happened in Singapore to where it's like they view marijuana to be a capital punishment. You know, for it to be so bad like you get cracked with marijuana any way, shape, or form, it's like this is like a major punishment. Like what happened, you know?
Right.
And it's like that's something that like I can do some more research with, and it's like y'all said within the article, like you know the community. That's something that we can do together. You can do on your own and see like why is it so harsh in other countries? Like we know, like out here, it's like they put the stigma on it to where it's like make you go crazy, make you do this, make you do that. They put a whole bad stigma on it. You know, and that's why we in a fight to try to like bring the proper awareness. But like, man, how can you bring awareness to? They trying to bring the awareness, but it's like, man, you got people being hung. It's like it make you feel kind of like, I guess, relieved. It's like a bad word to say,
Right.
but it's like a bare minimum, at least like you just going to do some jail time around here. You're not finna lose your life,
Right.
you know. But that like.
So let me ask you, like hypothetically, if it was like that in America, just say like they punish you to the utmost. You know what I'm saying? Would you still smoke weed and take the risk to have it in your possession?
I mean, if it holds a punishment like that, you're gonna think kind of different. Is it like really worth it? You know what I'm saying?
Most definitely.
Cause it's like that's even
Nigga
our
take
like
that shit home. Like
that's
I'm
like
going
man,
home.
that's like even now. You know, it's like our laws here. If you go out, you rob a bank broad daylight, and you injure somebody, you know you finna go down for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And if you go and do that, you know you probably acceptable to the consequence.
Right.
But if you're not, you're gonna think twice. Be like, man, is that money in that bank really worth it?
Right.
I'm cool. I go and
So
get this job.
so like right now though, I'm saying right now, cause right now in your state, as much as you love weed right now, I'm not talking about they like you not smoking weed and then that's the law and then you about to smoke weed. I'm talking about right now
I think I can do it.
as it stands.
If
You
they
just
make-
quit, like fucking I'm done.
And if they like down shoulders and shit like that, I believe I can do it.
Yeah.
Man.
So
hey,
do you think you would drink more?
No, I'm already less of a drinker. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
So you'll just be like clear mind, no substance,
Yeah.
nothing. That's right.
I believe I can do that.
Yeah. I think I'll probably try to blow in the house or something. You know what I mean? Like I'll try some way.
What if it's like one of them new age spots where they have like the little drones and shit going around the house? Look at Big J.
Man. Then a nigga.
No, but
hey,
I believe, you know what I'm saying, like cannabis it's not that bad to
Right.
where it's like it has you to where, and this is only my opinion,
Right.
it don't have a hold on me to where it's like I have to take this drastic chance, you know what I'm saying, just so I can smoke this, or I have to have this in this situation.
Right.
You know, if I have to go without, it's like it's not gonna like crumble me up,
Oh,
or
everything.
it's not gonna do that.
Yeah.
You know, so I believe like, yeah, I get by that.
Have you ever just stopped smoking on GP just to do it?
No, I was forcibly stopped, but you know,
I have done it. I haven't done it lately. I say in the past maybe 3-4 years, but I've done it before though and just stopped for like a month or two.
and it's possible. Like we had a interview a little while back with Scotty D.
Right.
You know, like he shared with us, he was like, man, it was a point in time to where it's like I just gave it up for a little minute.
Yeah.
And it's like that's just somebody I'm just bringing off the top of my head that the community has came across. And you like, man, I stopped it. It wasn't nothing bad or whatever it may be. But you know, I just came back
Most definitely.
and smoked my stuff. You know, and then some people do that. They go on a little weed fast, little marijuana fast. There's nothing wrong with it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that just shows like a bigger disciplined cannabis user.
And some people do it because when you stop for a little while, then when you smoke again, you be high as a motherfucker too.
Yeah.
Some people,
I believe I thumbs up on that one.
for sure though, man. But look, you know, we know it's been going on a lot in Singapore for years, for many years, and it's probably been a light to it though. But now, you know, with weed being so publicized like it is, it's a lot of things that's coming up, even in other countries that, you know, has a light shining on it now. Mm-hmm. And I just personally think that's fucked up that that's happening out there, you know, for possession of cannabis. Like, just think about it, man. A person will have a family and all
Yeah,
this
that's what I think about.
different stuff though. And then just even being out there, you could look on TV, like we was talking about people in prison and shit like that. Like being out there in them certain countries, you could look on TV and see people in America and Brazil and different places and shit like that, smoking weed and celebrating and shit, and you sitting back like, damn. And then some of them motherfuckers that's up there, them officials probably smoke weed when they at home. And because they can have it though. Because it's out there.
Ain't no probably. They do.
You know what I mean? Because if people getting cracked for it, it's out there.
Yeah. What about this one though? It's like if they saying it's a capital punishment, do you believe that the citizens of Singapore actually know that this is a capital punishment, and by them actually going to transport and do it anyway, do you think they just like, all right, I'm taking the risk, so if this do happen, I'm doing it? And it's the family that's trying to like bring like to be like, all right, even though they took the risk, this is still extreme.
Yeah.
Because it's like if it's capital, you have to be aware of your laws in Singapore. We try to push that a lot. You know, like stay informed on the laws, regulations, the rules, whatever region you in.
Yeah.
So it's like so you can be aware you won't get caught like that. You know, so it's like it was just a question in my head, like, man, did these like people even know like what the law was? Was they informed? Was they not informed? Like,
and then you could kind of think about the people out here that's just taking a risk because it's maybe the way that they feeding their family. So, you know, it could be any reason. Some people just being greedy, you know, and there are some people just trying to make sure they able to feed their family, and this is their way to do it. So they taking that risk, knowing that it's a severe risk like that.
That's crazy because it's like me being introduced to cannabis, weed, period. Like my mind at that time never stretched out to be like somebody will get hung behind this. Even at the time of me smoking, my thought process, it really didn't even allow me to think that somebody will get life behind bars behind this weed. But here we are, you know, in the 2000s and shit, like
2022.
People losing lives, whether physically, mentally, you know what I'm saying, family-wise. You know, people is losing behind cannabis, a little plant. Like, and it's like in the beginning, like me, like I'm just speaking for me, I couldn't fathom that.
Couldn't fathom that, man. So look, speaking about that, you know, people losing lives, you know, mental states and all that different kind of stuff. So they got another thing going around though with the highly potent weed. So basically, because it's always something with the weed, it's always fucking something.
Always something.
So like, you know, the highly potent weed, they saying it's like it causes like mental issues and different things like that with high levels of THC, and the low levels, and the addiction. And with the low levels of THC, it's less likely to get addicted to it though, but high levels, you get addicted. You know, they saying that you get addicted faster.
Mm-hmm. Like going through this article, it's like I ask myself, like what are addictions? You know what I'm saying? What will make you an addict? Like what are like addict activities and this, that, and the other? You know, and it's like with cannabis, like all BS to the side. Like you have a weed party.
For sure. This
is what these addicts are going to do. They're going to laugh and have a wonderful time. These are addicts. These are some of the activities of weed smokers.
Right.
You're going to laugh and have a good time. You may come up with jokes that you could sell to Eddie Murphy. Mm-hmm. You know, you may come up with a meal that'll be better than Snoop and the lady he be cooking with.
Right.
You know,
Martha Stewart.
You know, you may come up with a new color.
Man.
You may come up with a new airplane design. All
kind of shit,
These are like, you know what I'm saying, some of the effects and like activities of a weed smoker.
Yep.
Like, you know, and then it's like, if you look on the downside, this is me looking on the downside of it now.
Right.
I'm finna be sleepy as hell.
Man.
So I'm gonna be lazy. I might have a cheeseburger wrapper over here. You know, with a
Man.
Coke bottle over
Outta
there,
here.
with a Pepsi in my hand, sleep. You know what I'm saying? These are these are activities that I told myself that like, all right, these are some addicts engage in. Because if you look at it with some of these other like Schedule I drugs that they have like linked up with marijuana,
Right.
heroin and cocaine, these are things that cause you to do certain harm to others to obtain
that.
this drug. You're not doing harm to others to do something else. You're doing harm and robbing and doing all of this to actually obtain this. These are activities that's causing you to be that addict.
Right.
You know, and now they're saying high potent weed. So you mean to tell me you're going to have more people giggling. You're going to have more people coming up with ideas. You're going to have more friendly conversations.
And then you don't get too many people that smoke weed that's gonna go rob and steal to get weed. It's like if you don't have none, you just I ain't smoking. I ain't got no weed.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's what I say. Like how you just asked right now. Like, man, do you think like if you have to go without weed, do you believe you can?
Right.
Like I gave you my honest answer. Like I believe I actually can, even though I haven't done it, as you say, just like on my own.
Right.
The times that I did have to go without it, like I've been locked up before.
Right.
I come home on parole probation. You're not allowed to smoke. I'm around people that's doing it. I have the willpower to get by without smoking it. You know, I got off of parole or probation. I wasn't smoking it. And I was up to like a year or some change.
Mm-hmm.
So I do have that willpower. I do have that within.
Right.
You know, so it's like, man, it's not going to make me go out and do something drastic for it to be like considered an addict or mental health. Because when you look at mental health, you're looking at people like irrational thinking and things of such.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so and then like weed is not doing that to you.
Do you like? I don't personally believe that for me that it's a gateway drug to anything. But I think for some people it can be because a lot of people are not mentally strong enough. You know, you might get high off some weed and then be like, I want to get fucking higher than this. What can get me higher than this?
My opinion on that one, all right, weed is weed. But you have other like drugs out there that stays in your system, and when mixed, it causes that. You know, so you could have been a user of something else.
Right.
And then you use this drug. Well, I couldn't even say drug. Excuse me. Clack me on my head for even referring to weed as a drug.
Yeah.
You use marijuana.
Don't do that again, cuz
man, you smoke marijuana and it's like it may mix with something else to make you act irrational.
Right.
But it's like I don't think if you have not used like no other type of long substance that stay in. One of them is like what PCP, like Sherm can stay in your system for like a year, 2-3 years or something, depending on how much you're using.
Yeah.
And then when you mix that with marijuana, it's like it's not even the marijuana that's causing you to be psychedelic. It's now this remnant of what was used to be has now grown.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's like they need to do a little bit more research. Because it's like, man, you was talking. Now they coming up with mental illnesses, addictions, and all of that as we itch closer to trying to federally like legalize something. People are on the verge of being decriminalized. You know, and all those people, it's like those are the people that like Congress like really wanted to put away in the first place. You know, and it's like now we got to let them back out.
Yeah.
Here you go. They coming up with other things to like try to sway the mind to like, man, don't legalize this because look what this does. You're going to have more people doing this, more people doing that. That's why here with Best Way to Smoke, we always tell you to stay informed on your own. Don't go by what somebody is telling you. As you see, we doing our show.
Yep.
And some of the information that we getting it from, we letting you see like where we getting it from, the articles, such and such.
Mm-hmm.
So you can go in there and read it and get your own like thoughts
Tap
about
into it. Yep.
On your own. We just here to share something with you and give certain opinions.
Sure.
You know, and hopefully the opinions that we are giving is waking you up to where it's like, yeah, I will read this magazine of Politico. All right, I will read this magazine from CNN or High Times or Leafly. Oh, this is what I think about this. Oh, man, I didn't even know. or even within some of our comments, you know, because it's like within the comments, I've learned some things from the comments that some people share. So it's like, man, you have to like really know. You can't assume. And it's this mental and
that's
this
a fact.
addiction stuff. It's like me personally, I believe you assuming something to try to like sway. As you say, you trying to mentally fuck somebody. You know what I'm saying? And think in the way that you choose to think.
That's a fact. That's a fact. So yeah, just pay attention, man. Don't be an addict. Control your dosage. You know what I mean? And that's what it goes down to though. Like moving on to the next topic is like California is, you know, wants to put labels, mental health labels on cannabis products, from edibles to all kind of different things, which me personally, I don't think it's a bad idea, because like, you know, we talk about all the time and get into the little psychosis shit though. But I think that, you know, trying to get it to where they can really regulate the THC level, because it's different states already that I think it's one state in particular that already can regulate the amount of THC that could be in the weed. They regulate that shit though. I forget the state.
I forget the
though.
number, but we did do the show, and it's in one of our shows, and it's actually displayed on there. We actually went through it.
Yep. To where I think, like, just like what I was talking about earlier with the mind fuck, the mental fuck. They with how they putting stuff out there is subliminal. They want to get it to where they can control it like that. So it might even get like that. Just say if they do federally decriminalize it and legalize it and let the states run it. Certain states might say, fuck it, you know what, we gonna lower the level of THC that could be in the weed, that could be in the dispensaries and shit like that. They might try to regulate it like that. You know what I mean? And I think that's kind of fucked up, because people should be able to figure out what their tolerance level is. You know, and with that, that is something you can figure that out with. It ain't like smoking cocaine or some shit though, where it's just what it is or something, you know what I mean, or a sherm stick or whatever the fuck. You know what I mean? This is like, you know, you can start with a low level THC weed, you know what I mean? Puff on that, see how you feeling after that. If that worked for you, that worked for you. If it don't, move on and try something a little more stronger and just see where your level at and see how you can handle the shit though. Try edibles, try concentrate, well, I wouldn't say try concentrate at first though, because that shit'll put you on your back. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's two things with this one with me. It's like, all right, you want to monitor the THC level. Now, this is somewhere Serpo Jr. got to go ahead and do his own little research a little bit more, because I'm not sure, like, if you growing, it's going to be the same. But once you actually get up into that, you can grow to where it's like, this is a higher potency than what this is.
Especially the indoor.
You know what I'm saying? So that's like something like I got to get into right there, because every time I hear THC level such and such, I'm like, man, how are you finna go and do this? You know, and then again, it's like by I'm putting labels on there, the main reason why I kind of like that, because it will give the consumer, if you're going to go and consume, like the actual thought process first. Because it's like, if it's giving you a mental warning, it'll make you think within yourself. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, you know yourself. Because if it's not finna give you no warning, you may probably just go ahead and just be like, you know, and it may hit you a certain way. And it's like, I like this because we got uncle, you know what I'm saying, that like, he's staying strong. We clown him a lot, but he's staying strong. I ain't finna smoke that, because I know. You know, and it's like, man, I applaud him for that.
For sure.
And like, this is like a big thing right here. Like, once I came across this, I'm like, man, it's like, it's somebody like very close to me that's like this. I'm not gonna say like this, but like as an example, because it's like, if you put this label and stuff on there, say that family member goes somewhere and this label was not on there, and you thinking it's something that is not.
Right.
But you take something that you think it is that is not. Now I'm fucked. But if you got this label and stuff on there, it's like, all right,
do I really want to do this?
Man, it gives it gives the consumer the conscious decision to make. Like, man, do I really want to test out my mental illness? or whatever it may be, or do I rather want to stay sane? That's a little bit too much for me. On to the next. So that's why I say, like, you labeling it, that's kind of cool.
Yep.
It may be good.
Yep. So yeah, it's gonna be some good things that's gonna come with it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, especially if it get there to get decriminalized. And man, I'm hoping to get there, man. And like I've said before, it's gonna be some good things and it's gonna be some bad things.
Yeah.
Just hopefully you could capitalize on the good things and hopefully you could turn the bad things into some good things some kind of way. You know what I mean?
And I'm really trying to go for it and go with it too, because it's like if you decriminalize this, it really will open a door for a whole lot of other things. Because as you know, they have marijuana on the Schedule 1 like drug list. And by that being Schedule 1, it's like that's like you have a marijuana conviction. They making that the same as somebody getting cracked for 12 tons of heroin. You know, and you got cracked with an ounce of weed. They making that carry the same weight. So just imagine how the eyes of like other entities will look at the individual. Like, man, you deal with Schedule 1 things. Never mind it being marijuana, it's a Schedule 1. You know, and it's like I have something like that hovering up over me. And it's like, I don't want you looking at me as if like, man, I'm just like, forget it.
Right.
You know, because it's like, man, I value what I can do. And it's like, if I can do something and this little BS is trying to hold me back, nah, I will find a hurdle to get over it. It's not going to stop me. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, any obstacle can get done. If you can't do it this way, best believe you can do it that way.
Figure it out,
you know? And it's like, man, if you decriminalize that, it's like the doors will open for so many people that's like me, that's like you, you know, that like have the will to do something, but even though like you doing something to get by, you can be able to do something that make you happy while you doing it. And this right here is maybe holding you back, you know? So it's like, man, like, forget the slim chance of trying to pass it. Like, man, everybody stay informed about it.
And let it go.
Share the news about it. If somebody have like a negative thing about it, like try to like, you know, bring a little light to it. Don't try to convince the person. Maybe suggest like, man, maybe you should look at it this way, or look at this article, or man, it's this Best Way to Smoke show I be looking at. And they give you some great news about the good things about cannabis. They give you something. Look at this bill of what they trying to do. You know, so it's like, man, stay informed about it, because if we keep letting people think the way they want to think about it, which is their own perception, non-user or however it may be, your bias will stay that way. But if us as a community keep doing shows as such, keep like having social gatherings and shining that light, man, forget slim chance of passing. It'll get by.
It'll get by. Because the cannabis community, we are a big-ass community. So
that mess with each other, no matter race, color, or creed.
For sure, man. So look, y'all, we thank y'all for tapping in with us. And, you know, check us out on all social media platforms and our YouTube channel. And check us out, our website, I'm High. And, yeah, this is the Best Way to Smoke podcast. Big J.
Serpo Jr. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and tell a friend. Best Way to Smoke. We appreciate y'all.